We're going to use the salt technique and we're going to add another technique to it. And today we're going to use salt to make rain. Stay with me. Take a look at this. All right, so here is a sample of what we get with just salt. We've put down an even wash, we've sprinkled salt on, and remember to hold it up about 10 inches when you're sprinkling it so that each individual grain falls separately. You don't want these to clump, but you get this lovely frosty pattern. And the thing to remember is that you put the salt on just as the wash is starting to sink into the paper. You can start to see the little fibers stand up on the paper. That's the time to get the salt on so that you get this tight little frosty pattern. But that's not what we're going to paint today. This is what we're going to paint. This is salt exactly like we did for the frosty pattern. We put on the wash, we dropped on the salt. It was all spreading out nicely. But then after about 30 seconds, I held this up and sprayed it with my pump style sprayer. Again, you can use a trigger sprayer if it's on its widest broadcast. But what you're looking for is individual grains of salt and individual droplets of water hitting each other. Then we hold the paper up to dry, and what happens is as the water drips down, we start to get this beautiful rainy pattern. Okay, so I think today it would be a good idea if we did a little sample of rain before we actually went and painted it on our painting. So what I want you to do is take a small sheet of paper. This is a half of the size that we normally use. We normally use a 7.5 by 11 for our paintings. We're just dividing that in half, just a small sheet here. And I want you to take a large brush, dip it into your French ultramarine. We're going to just lay in a nice pattern of color. I'm actually going to also dip it into the brown madder so that we change colors down here. Okay, that's all you have to do with the paint. Now I'm watching to see when that paint is just sinking in, and I think it's just about now. I'm going to hold this up about 10 inches above the paper. Not too much. In this case, more is not better. Actually, less is better. I need to let this set for just a few minutes, well, not a few minutes, a few seconds actually, 30 seconds. I'm watching the paint continue to sink into the paper. And if I just let it go, it would end up like this pattern. But I'm going to hold this up at an angle, 45-degree angle, and give it a spray from about 10 inches away, aggressive spray, and maybe one more. Then I need to leave it on this plane, this angled plane, as it dries. Each droplet will start to rain down and the salt will repel the color and we'll get a beautiful image of rain.